Hello, BookTube. I just made another shelf tour for my 2023 library tour, where I'm reaching up out of camera. And only when I was done with that video did I realize that I started one shelf too late, that I didn't start with the top shelf. So we're going to go up there. I'll just give you two library tours today. We're going to go up there and make that right. Okay, so this first one is a very recent find. I found this just, a year ago? Something like that. This is Thomas Palmer's book, Landscape with Reptile, which I had only had as a trade paperback. And I love it. It's fantastic. It's about rattlesnakes, but not just any rattlesnakes. It's about the small colony of rattlesnakes that live in the Blue Hills of Massachusetts. There's actually a map. See, there you go. This is, let me see here. Yeah, there's Boston here. And this is the Blue Hills Reservation. When I go to the top point, the highest point in the Arnold Arboretum, which is just a minute from my front door, when I go to that top point on a clear day, I can see the Blue Hills Reservation. And there's a colony of rattlesnakes that live there. And so that was the author's anchor to write about rattlesnakes just in general. We saw another book. What was it called? America's Snake. And this is yet another book on rattlesnakes. You'd think that I like these things. I actually don't. I rather vigorously hate them. I have been stung by them, bitten by them many, many times. I don't think that's ever going to happen again. Thank God. Then this next one is a trade paperback I got this in 2014. I really wish I could find all of these. I will. I wish I could find all of these in the original, was it 1940s? Yeah, the original 1940s hardcovers with dust jackets. They'll show up at the Brattle, and when they do, they'll probably all show up at the same time. This is Sally Carragher, who's a fantastic nature writer, and this is one of her books. Her books all came out with really great illustrations there by Henry Bugbee Keene, who's an illustrator I really like. And this is One Day on Beetle Rock. But there were lots of others. One Day on Teton Marsh, a whole bunch of other books of hers. And I have them in a kind of ramshackle collection of different shapes and sizes, when what I really want is the original issues. I'm sure they're not collectible. So what I really want is somebody will clear out an attic someday and I will get all of these in hardcovers with dust jackets. And I have some mass market paperbacks. I think I have a hardcover without a dust jacket for one of these things. And I don't want them that way. I want them to be uniform, and I love the lightweight 1940s hardcovers. But they're really, really good. They're tremendous natural history, just tremendous. Okay, then we have this is amazing fun. This is by Mark Jones and Lance Parkin, and it's called Beyond the Final Frontier, and it's a guidebook to all of the Roddenberry era Star Trek. So everything until just before Star Trek Enterprise. No, Star Trek Enterprise is in here as well. So, and it breaks them down. I don't know if you're going to be able to make this out. It breaks them down episode by episode. It gives you great notable quotes from every episode. Let's see. So, the Deep Space Nine episode Fascination is summarized as when Loxwana Troy visits the station, the inhabitants get amorous. From 1994, it gives you the writer, the director, in this case, Avery Brooks, the star of the show. It gives you all the guest cast, including Majel Barrett as Deanna Troy's mother. And it gives you, let's see here, a quote. This time the quote is from Quark, the bartender at Deep Space Nine. You humans never learn. You let your women go out in public, hold jobs, wear clothing, and you wonder why your marriages fall apart. And then it gives you trivia, any applicable trivia to that episode. It also does all the movies. And then it gives you a rating. What are they doing the rating for Fascination? A silly episode, but amusing nonetheless. The latent attraction between some of the characters is a useful revelation to leave in the air. Yet amid the Midsummer Night's Dream levity, there is the pressure on Keiko and Miles adding a bit of weight to the show. Interesting. So you get that all throughout. This is, for a Star Trek fan, it's going to suck you in, and you're going to spend hours reading it and arguing with it. It's just delightful. Okay, then we have yet another double. Not exactly a double. This is, we've already seen this. This is Susan Orlean's book, the library book. the original hardcover with the naked hardcover, no dust jacket, and the deckled edges. This one is full of clippings that I put in here from its original reception when it was getting reviewed everywhere. We also have a trade paperback. And if I remember correctly, oh, here's the trade paperback right here. Didn't I get the trade paperback because I was blurbed on it? Isn't that right? Didn't I? Or maybe not. Maybe I'm not. Let's look and see here. Oh, yes, I am. Okay, I'm blurbed on the trade paperback. That's probably why I have both of them. I really like the hardcover. It's really nice shape, so maybe I'll keep them both. Then this next one is More Nature. This was in the Boston Globe, the newspaper here in Boston, forever and ever, ran as a regular feeture. And then it was collected into a book. I was very happy to see that. This is Nature Watch by Tom Long. Just a little book. This came out in the early 2000s, I want to say. 2003, yeah. And Jay Johnson does the illustrations all throughout that are lovely, just lovely. And it took the form of a diary. The Nature Watch would come out in the paper, just taking you through the month of August. So what's going to bloom in the month of August? What birds are going to return or leave in the month of August? What are salamanders coming out? Are turtles waking up? That sort of thing. And it's full of illustrations all throughout. Spot illustrations on the pages, and also larger illustrations. So very glad to have that. Then this next one is, oh, great. We've seen this author before. This is David Carroll, and this is Self-Portrait with Turtles. Another slim nature book that also is heavily illustrated, in this case by the author. Well, we've got rough sketches there, but he was a talented artist, so we get finished black and white pencil artwork as well. In here, yes, lovely stuff, just lovely. Just Meditations on the Natural World. This one heavily influenced by turtles. Okay, and here we have again. So one David Carroll book is separate from the others. I need to go around and find that. This is Following the Water. Just another book that gives you a map of where the swamps and bogs that he's walking around in, and then just takes you through them. And it's, again, heavily illustrated. All the turtles and frogs and whatnot that he encounters. Oh, okay, great. This next one is an advance copy. This is by Gary Maynard, and it's called Plum Belly. Self-published novel that I reviewed for the Martha's Vineyard Gazette. I'll try to remember to leave a link if I can find it to the Gazette. They have a website, so probably it's easy to find. I get books from I'm the Martha's Vineyard Gazette book reviewer, and I get books from my editor. You've seen them on this channel. They take all kinds of shapes and sizes. And I never know what I'm going to get. That's one of the things I love about it. This is a novel about 3 young people, 2 of whom are sex partners, who, under varying degrees of personal pressure, decide to just take a little craft called Plum Belly and sail away. And they encounter adventures on the water and personal tensions, and also an adventure on land. And it's wonderful. Just wonderful. Last thing in the world I was expecting. I'm very forgiving for self-published work. I'm a big fan of it. I'm a big booster of self-published work. I read a self-published book every single day. I read and review a self-published book every single day. But even so, even though I'm a fan and a booster, I don't have high expectations for them. Most of them aren't good. Most books aren't good, published, self-published, or otherwise. So when I encounter one that's this good, just a great nautical tale, I was overjoyed. Okay. Well, this next one is a double as well. Technically, this is a double as well. We've already seen this in the Penguin section of this library tour. This is A.C. Bradley, Shakespearean Tragedy. I just happened to find it in a hardcover a few years ago. I'm not sure that I need a hardcover of it. I have the Penguin Classic in perfect condition. I'm not sure that I need both of those, but here it is. Okay. Then we have another nature book. This is more natural history. This is a little bit more ambitious than the ones we've seen, and also a classic. This is Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. Unfortunately, her name will be known to you for a tragic reason in American history. But before she was the name of a school, she was an author and an advocate for the Everglades. Their most tireless and most effective advocate. And she wrote a book called River of Grass, which is about the Everglades. And I had a ratty old trade paperback of that book and read it just endlessly because she's really, really entertaining. And then one day, I think at the Brattle, I found this beautiful hardcover that you see this for sale in gift shops all over Florida, especially near the Everglades. If you're going to visit the Everglades, you're going to encounter this book. But it's worth the fame. It's really good. Let's see. Okay. All right. This is A. McAvoy McIntyre. This is Beacon Hill, a walking tour. Those of you who don't know, this is an area of Boston, a very storied, very old area of Boston. And this guide takes you through. It has beautiful illustrations. There's Lewisburg Square, this famous tontine. But you also have photographs in here of individual houses that you can zoom in on, individual rooms as well as individual streets. Just an architectural and cultural and historical guide to Beacon Hill. Then we have Sir Richard Halliburton. This is The Royal Road to Romance. This is a terrific adventure book that I found at the Brattle in a hardcover from probably the 1940s. 1925. Perfect condition. Somebody put this dust jacket on it, but I think we've already seen Halliburton, and if we haven't, we should, because this had many, many editions. And the one I want, this is not the one I want. I love the book, but this has only one. This is just the Taj Mahal as a photo. Whereas there were bigger, more elaborate hardcover editions of this that were fully illustrated. I think I have one somewhere. I'm not sure if it's in this room, but this is kind of a placeholder book. And then we'll finish up. We'll do 2 library tours today. We'll finish up with these. These are the old hardcover collections of James Blish's Star Trek books. James Blish wrote up little short stories into book collections for all the original Star Trek episodes. And they were brought out in these Star Trek reader volumes. There's volume 1, volume 3. Look at that great cover art from all those original paperbacks. Volume 4 and volume 2. And I found all of these up in Vermont. Do I have a date? I probably don't. I probably didn't put a date in these. No, but I found all these up in Vermont and was overjoyed. Just overjoyed with it. Not only because I love those and my mass market paperbacks really can't take much more of a pounding, but also because, a little odd detail, Barnes & Noble, we saw the Barnes & Noble leather-bound edition of the Foundation books by Asimov, how pretty it is. And Barnes & Noble did a leather-bound volume of Star Trek as well, of some of those James Blish stories, with a really beautiful cover design, really nice end papers, the whole 9 yards. They really know how to make those volumes well. But I have to say, as disloyal as it feels, I didn't like that Star Trek volume all that much. First of all, it felt weird to read dashed off, barely adapted television screenplays in a fancy hardcover. That felt weird, first of all. But in addition to that, I didn't like the fact that, some of them are in there and some of them weren't. I think if you made it double columned, you could have fit them all. Made the book a little bigger, you could have fit them all. But these have them all. And also reproduced that original cover artwork that I love so much. So they were a perfect justification for me to get rid of that Barnes & Noble edition and just keep this. But there you go. So that was, by mistake, I did 2 shelves today. So we'll move on to the next shelf tomorrow. Or maybe we'll skip a day. But either way, that's enough librarying for today. I will see you soon. Thank you, BookTube.